set up here. Been a minute. And nobody's watching right now just yet, so we'll give it some time for people to jump in. I think that's about as much of this project as I can get in the frame at the moment, so we'll stick with that. Some music to play. Gotta turn on my iPad. There we go. All right. Let's light up a little bit. Yeah, it looks good. All right. So, not doing concrete yet. Gonna need this. And we're gonna be using some of this today, which I have here. This is a, well, I can wait to talk about this till we get some people in here, but if you're watching early, this is some fast curing UV putty that I found. I guess it's made mostly for automotive, but it's very lightly textured. I feel like it's basically resin mixed with baby powder, but in a commercial setting, made by Colad. It's good stuff. I've been playing with it a little bit, and I like the way it works. I've got some spots here I'm going to work on a little bit today. Spread that stuff around and then let it cure, or cure it with your UV light, and then you put your terrain paint on top of that. Works really well. Just kind of going over some spots that I missed. This is the AK Dark Earth terrain paint. This stuff's awesome, and that's what I applied here. This is what it looked like after it dried. No cracking. It's very pliable as far as how it goes on, and I'm going to be using some more of that today. Got some gaps here to seal up and some other spots to fill in. Let's see how my audio is doing here. Some other spots to fill in. Let's see how my audio is doing here. Almost sounds like my microphone isn't in. Yeah, it isn't. Let's see if gotta replug this guy in here. See how that works. Yeah, it isn't. Check 1, 2. Check, check, check. Could feedback a little bit. See how that works. Ah, okay. Check 1, 2. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2, check. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2, check. Okay. Now the mic's on. All right. I'm happy with that. Just talking to myself right now, anyways. Okay. Now the mic's on. All right. Happy with that. just talking to myself right now anyways. All right, let's turn that back down. I guess I'm gonna start up here. Not beer. Zero sugar with vitamins and antioxidants. Healthy soda. Turning over some new leaves. Well, I guess I can start playing with this shit. Use a little napkin here. Let's get some music back on. Got some slow joiners today. Well, it's like a mirror. That's funny. Anyways, cool. So there's some faint gaps here that I need to fill in. And this is a good way to do it with this stuff. It's nice and easy to sculpt with as far as the consistency is concerned, especially for terrain like this. You can blend it really well, and then you use your terrain paint to go over that. You could use an old brush or, whatever to fill that in if you wanted. I'm just using a stir stick. Just really doing what I can to hide these slight gaps that were kind of left behind when I put this terrain paint down by AK. And this will thoroughly blend those into the ether so they will not be detected. That's not even a gap. I'm going to leave that alone. You can see how soft this stuff is going on. It's very moldable. It's gooey. Been wanting to show you guys this stuff for a while, actually. Don't need to overdo it. And you saw how gooey that was. And literally just a few seconds under the light. I mean, literally seconds. Now, one thing I noted on the reviews, I bought it on Amazon, but one thing I noticed on the reviews was the negative reviews seem to come mostly from probably user error. Like a lot of people complained that the product was separated. You know, there's like this gooey liquid on the top, and they had to really squeeze the bottle before the actual resin came out. Well, you know, even just a little bit about resin, it's comprised of a lot of different shit, binders and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, stir it up. It's not that hard to figure out. So, yes, if you, the one part of the complaint that I read too was the shelf life was really short. Um, I don't have that problem at all. This stuff works great. It's fine. I've had this open for weeks, weeks and weeks and weeks. And it hasn't gotten any more or any less difficult to deal with. And all you do when you open it up, if you want to treat this stuff right, set that right there for now. It's not going to matter. I squeeze some out in the tube. After you mix it up, this is what it comes out like poop. It's like a big turd. Okay. And then if it is separated, if there is any liquid, whatever that comes out, you just take it, stir the shit up. You stir it until everything blends together. I personally prefer to, as you saw, I was squeezing the bottle. I like doing it. I want to mix that stuff up in the bottle as much as possible before I try to squeeze it out. That way it's not separated and hopefully kind of mixed up. And if it is a little separated when it comes out, you just stir it up like this. I keep it covered. I've kept this cup covered here in my studio for, I think I was using this about a week ago. And as long as you keep it covered, it won't expose because you don't have any UV light getting to it. And the way I did that was I just kind of wrapped a paper towel around it and left it up here on my workbench. Garage door's been open plenty of times, and none of it got exposed. So here I am using this stuff out of the same cup I put it in a week ago, and it's working just fine. You saw a couple of seconds under the light, it's rock solid. It ain't going anywhere. And so we'll set that aside. Where's my paintbrush I was using? Was it this one? Nope. Is it up here? Oops. Cannot connect to Pandora. Well, that fucking sucks. All right. Oh, here's my paintbrush. Sweet. So this stuff by AK. AK Terrains. This is their Dark Earth Acrylic Diarrhea. It's basically clean backyard mud mixed with brown friggin' acrylic paint. It's got a nice texture to it. Stuff rips. I'm totally in love with this shit. Tried it out for the first time a couple of weeks ago on the channel here, and just absolutely love the way this stuff works. So now that I've covered this up, these gaps and shit, I'm just going to take my terrain paint and kind of stipple that over it to cover up that shit. All this is going to get painted over anyway, so I mean, this is just the way I'm doing it. You can do it any which way you want. I don't care. If it works for you, use it. That is my favorite motto. One of my favorite mottos. I also like the way this, I really like the way this stuff feathers out with just a teeny bit of water on it. It can really blend nicely. So you can see where these gaps just kind of disappeared. No evidence of gappage. And it's very natural looking. You know, just put it on rough. little bit of water. Don't have to go so thick if we don't want to. Just kind of feather that out. Dries pretty quick. I tend to enjoy just kind of stippling it on. You can brush it on, do whatever. Doesn't take much. It goes a long way. Especially if you just, like I said, put a teeny bit of water on it. Spread it out, feather it in, and that's it. It's good stuff. So yeah. Dark Earth Acrylic Diorama by AK. I am not sponsored by them. I spent my own fucking money on this stuff. It's not... I'd say it's a mid-range product, you know. It's not... I feel like I'm getting what I paid for. And then some, actually. I was so impressed, actually, the first time I tried it out, that I ended up buying a bunch more of their different terrains. I've got corrosion texture, which is like for doing rust. Haven't tried this yet. And then I've got their concrete in the terrains line. I got the concrete, which I'm going to be using around the outer edge of the base here to seal up some of these gaps. And then the corrosion texture is going to go on some of these pipes and stuff when I get these all filled in. I really like this stuff, though. It's fantastic. So that being said, let's see. I think I'm pretty happy with the top now. And I need to start... I mean, there's a couple little spots where you can see some gaps here, like in this corner. They're small enough to where I think I can just cover them up with the terrain paint here. Hopefully you can see that on camera. Just makes those gaps... You can fill in these gaps really quick and easy with this stuff. Really like it. And I don't know if you can tell there's a line here too. I want that gone. So we're just gonna stipple in some terrain on top of that to break it up. Take a little more water. Just feather it out. Satisfied with that now. I mean, it could dry and that line might still be in there. There's a little bit up here I'm going to get rid of. But this stuff really works well for breaking up shit like that on your 3D prints. I'm really happy with how well it works. I got another line up here that I can see. Just remnants from all the pieces I had to use to put this gymongous base together. This print was done by Star Wars or SW 3D Studios. It's Obi Wan Rides Boga. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the Star Wars franchise. I'm a massive Star Wars nerd. But this is that scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi chases after General Grievous on the Varactyl creature named Boga. I never knew she had a name until SW3D Studios did this model. Apparently her name was a female, which I also didn't know, and her name is Boga. I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, I'm pretty happy with how those lines have disappeared. Like I said, we'll see how it looks when it dries, but we're not going to see that tonight. This is where her foot goes. I can see somebody's in here watching. Well, at least we got one person. Feel free to say hello if you like. If you're feeling shy today, that's okay too. You don't have to say a word if you don't want to. But I will say hello, and I hope you and yours are happy and well. All right, I think I'm. Oh, so I've got this big gap up here to fill too. I Part of me says I'm going to leave that alone for now though, because there's this big antenna piece that goes on here. I'll show you that. But my plan is this is where this piece that fits in here is where the electronics that I'm going to be adding to this model are going to go. Obi Wan's lightsaber is going to light up. Uh, this is the theory. Obi-Wan's lightsaber is going to, you're going to push a switch and Obi-Wan's lightsaber is going to light up. And then I'm going to have there's little antenna and radar dishes and shit around here. And anyways, I'm going to have some little blinky nano LEDs in those, like red and blue and green lights going off. And then the audio, I have a soundboard that's going to be installed in this piece, I think. And that soundboard is going to play the audio from the scene in Revenge of the Sith. So you'll actually hear Boga making her noise, her cry, and all that. I'll show you that piece, though. I got to come over here to another part of my studio. So this is the piece that fits in here like so. And I'm going to have to build up, once I get the electronics installed and figure out how that's all going to get mapped in, then I'll go in and kind of seal this up a little bit. But it may have a battery pack, so I want to blend it so that I can keep it loose and get in and be able to change batteries and stuff like that if I need to. This is the piece. I might be cutting this out and putting the speaker, kind of hiding the speaker in there, or maybe behind these grates. Not sure yet. We got a long way to go before we get to any of that part, but that's the idea. And yeah, let's see what happens. And if you're watching and you want to see what Boga looks like, this might give you an idea of how big she is. That is just her head. Her body with the head measures probably close, if not longer than 4 feet. This is an absolutely massive diorama. It's the largest print that SW3D Studios has done to date, and by far my longest print, biggest print I've ever done. It cost me more than 12 bottles of resin to get all these pieces put together. Which, if you don't know 3D printing or resin printing, SLA printing, 12 bottles that's a lot of resin for a 3D print. A lot. Cost me about 112 USD to just to print it. I see another line right here. I don't know if you can see that, but let's get that cleaned up. Maybe I can. Maybe it'd be better to have my camera overhead. See if we can do that. I've got another camera mount here. I'm just trying to figure out how to get it. That coming through? I don't that's upside down now or not. Guess it doesn't matter. It's very faint, but that's the line right here. I don't like that my phone image is it's essentially upside down. I need to fix that. How do I do that? Yeah, screw it. Going back to this angle for now. Well, whoever was in here for a minute, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you and your time. Have a wonderful day. Trying to think of a way I can hold this up and work on it. Oh, maybe this will work. It's semi-stable. That's gonna have to work right there. And I know what I can do. I'm just gonna switch my armature over. Alright, I think that looks good. Get some light on it. Cool, I like that. I can work with that. Now, I'm using the side of the stir stick to kind of blend in with the, I guess, natural part of the diorama, the surface. Just helps it blend and keep that cohesive nature with the rocks that they have created in the print. And then, of course, the main thing is you just want to get the gap sealed because the terrain paint's going to do the rest. I have an idea I'm going to try here in a second. Just kind of gooping it on here to get the gap sealed. And from there, I'm going to try just blending it with my gloved finger. See how that looks and feels as far as getting it to blend in. I need to pivot this a little bit here. Sorry, I gotta get my big head in there for a second. I don't need it to look pretty, obviously. I think that's enough. That's enough of that. Let's see how. Grab a glove here. All right. So here's the putty. I'm just gonna use my finger to kind of feather it out. Again, gonna be putting terrain paint on this, so it doesn't have to be perfectly pretty or anything. I just want it to blend good with the rocks around it. That is working pretty well. I like that. I think that's good. And then you just take your UV light. You saw how gooey that shit was. And you just take your UV light, and it is hard as a rock in seconds. I don't know shit about cars, but I think they use this stuff for body work. The company that was advertising it said it was for automotive. So I read that a lot of modelers were using it. So I figured I'd try it out. And so far, I'm really happy with the results. As far as getting gaps like this sealed in real quick. I think I need to plug in my UV light here. I don't want to drag my industrial UV light over. There we go. That's much brighter. So that shit's all cured now. For the most part. Give it another pass over here. All right, now back to terrain paste, or paint, sorry. Not terrain paste. Stuff feathers out really nice. Something I love about it. I like the way that looks. Basically just hiding that stuff we just put down with some terrain paint. That gives it a little added texture. And all this is going to be primer coated over and painted anyways, eventually. This is not how it's going to look when it's done. Not even remotely. Going to be doing some dry brushing on here. Lots of washes. Putting moss down. I got some cool alien looking plastic plants. And you can see how that, just blending it with your finger really made it look like natural rock. It feathers out really nice with the rest of the terrain. Hope everybody's having an awesome Saturday or whatever day it happens to be when you finally watch this. Or maybe you're on the other side of the world and it's already Sunday. I have friends in China and it's Sunday over there right now. And other parts of the world, of course, too. That looks good. All right. Teeny bit of water. There's kind of a big gap over on this side. It's too tall for me to switch it over though with the camera. So just bear with me for a moment. I'll get us back to a part you guys can see. This is basically a bunch of boring shit today though. That's all I'm doing. Working on getting this base done. Pretty slow in the chat for a Saturday anyways. That's alright. Hopefully everybody's out having a good time. I'm having a good time right here in Studio 3D or whatever the hell I'm gonna call it today. tomorrow. That's looking good. I like how that's looking. Now I think we might be able to switch the camera around. Bear with me. God, I've already been going for 45 minutes. Shit, where does the time go? All right, let's move this out of the way real quick. Get our turntable back down. Our lazy Susan. Let's see here. All right. A little bit of light adjustment. There we go. So I got to fill in all these gaps right here. This is looking kind of shoddy, I think. I'm going to have to order some more of this terrain paint. What am I getting stuck on over here? Okay, it's turning a little better. Big, huge gap right here to fill in. That'll be fun. If you're just jumping in, Oh, there's only one of you. But this is UV putty. I think they said it's made for automotive. I don't know. It cures extremely fast. And it's really good at covering gaps, which I love. Just give that a basic cover up. And then go over it with your terrain paint. That's a done deal. Probably shouldn't have painted that first. Stir stick is toast. Actually, instead of wasting stir sticks, well, I need that flat end. So we're going to stick with stir sticks. They're fucking cheap anyways. All right.
I think this is like the slowest Saturday live stream I've ever done so far. That's all right. Just hope everybody's doing all right. See a couple little tiny supports down here I missed. Go dig those out. Do some spelunking here. Little bastards. All right. Should be pretty well cured. Really, really love this AK stuff. So good. Oh, hey, John. Oh, no, sorry. No, sorry at all, my dear. Um, Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Let me turn the music down so I can actually think. Now that somebody's in here talking, I've had a few people stop in today, but nobody's saying anything. Uh, in answer to your question, which thank you, I appreciate the the concern. My back's doing okay. I'm actually I felt good enough today to come down here and play around, so that's a good thing. And you're not late. I didn't even announce that I was going to go live today. I wasn't sure, honestly. I haven't felt like. I mean, I have definitely felt like being down here. It's all I've wanted to do, but my lower back has been hurting so bad up until yesterday and today that I just couldn't come down. Um, in answer to your question, my back is okay. I feel like a lot of stretching. Went on a walk with my wife today. That didn't really feel good when we were done, but I think it's good for me as far as keeping me limbered up. Um, but the problem isn't just my back. Um, I think I was lifting some chemicals last week into my truck. I do swimming pools, um, and I felt my back pop, but I didn't think anything of it. You know, my bones, everything creaks and cracks and shit every day. It's just something I live with, something I'm used to. On top of my arthritis, which is pretty severe, but we'll get to that. Anyhow, um, didn't think anything of it. Went through my Friday, got all my shit done, came home, hung out with the wife, watched a movie. No big deal. Saturday morning, whole different fucking story. I wake up and I feel like a train ran over me, and I could barely walk. By Sunday, we went grocery shopping, picked up a few things, came home. My wife went upstairs ahead of me because I grabbed all the heavy shit, um, even though my back was hurting. And I mean, she helped out as much as she could, but Um, she can't, she's got her own issues. She's not super strong. And so I brought up some soda and other shit. Anyhow, long story short, I fucking bailed on my steps. I don't fall. I'm not a clumsy person. I've grown up skateboarding and martial arts, and I was very good at that. Just spent my whole life doing that shit. So I'd like to think I'm an extremely coordinated individual. And yeah, I fucking bailed. I just had this sharp pain shoot through my back, my sciatic basically, into my lower my well, it went all the way down to my lower left leg, and my leg just buckled, and I went down. Fortunately, I didn't bruise anything but my ego. But that sucked. And the next day, everything hurt so bad that I told my wife I needed to go to the doctor, which I never do. I fucking hate the doctors. Yeah, good times, right? So I we Sunday, or wait, no, made the appointment on Sunday. Got in Monday morning to see the doctor, and instead of my doctor, they gave me a nurse practitioner. And this bitch couldn't like. I felt my wife and I both felt like she just didn't want I was wasting her fucking time. She's like, oh well, maybe you just pinched a nerve type of thing, and I'm like, you fucking bitch, like I can barely walk. Like I've been an extremely active person my whole life. For me to even be here is bonkers. Like I don't go to the doctor, and something's wrong. So okay, well I'll give you 4 days off. So she gives me a note to not go to work from Monday through Thursday, which is fine. I've been with the company I've been with for 10 years. They didn't bat an eye about it. They're just like, get better. And anyways, my wife and I weren't very happy about that visit. And so I made an appointment to see my primary health doctor. And bless her heart, she doesn't, and I'm not saying fuck her in Southern. My doctor's awesome. She said she wants me to get CT scans for my arthritis, and they want to image my neck and my shoulders because I have severe to moderate arthritis in both my neck and shoulders from doing martial arts and skateboarding for 30 years of my life and doing swimming pools for 25 years. I'm pretty fucked up, and she put me on disability, which is super fucking alien to me. I've been working since I was 13 years old, and I don't know what it's like to not work. Other than I had surgery. I had like 8 inches of my upper ascending colon removed earlier this year. So I was off for 5 weeks for that recovery, but that was nothing. And so, yeah, here I am. She took me off work for 2 months. I don't have to go to work for 2 fucking months. And the caveat to that is she said it's probably going to be longer, but we're going to stick with 2 months for now. You can't be going to work in this kind of pain. You're never going to get a chance to get better. You're just going to keep. Exactly. I mean, well, this is what you do. This right here, we're looking at it. It's funny when she told me I wasn't going to work for a couple of months. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? And I was talking to my wife about it too. We were on the way home. I'm like, I guess I'm going to get a lot of shit done around the house. And she was like, babe, what about your channel? Like, don't you have like 4 different statues and shit you're working on with commissions? And I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm going to have time to play and do my shit and finish some commissions. And she's like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, go to your appointments, do your physical therapy, do what the doctor tells you, which you always do. But yeah, you get all the time in the world. And I'm like, well, fuck me. So I sat around most of the day and I'm like, do I feel good enough? Yeah, I feel good enough. So I figured I'd come down here and start doing this. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work on this model. I've got Goku, which is, I'm sure you probably know who Goku is. Dragon Ball Z character. I'm trying to get inspired by that. He's on the printer right now. I was crushed a little bit today because I was printing the base, and and I got to tell you about this stuff I'm using right now. Anyways, I was printing the base, but it's a rather large base, but it didn't come out. The fucking print failed like 3/4 of the way through and ruined the whole thing. In fact, a bunch of other parts didn't come out either, and they're all fucked. So I'm pretty much having to reprint the whole damn thing, except for a couple of pieces. And yeah, I hate it when that happens. Like anytime I get a paid commission, anytime I don't have a commission, everything fucking prints perfectly. If I'm just doing something for myself, like for example, I found this model. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah, of course, absolutely. And it's called the Xenoborg with an X. Anyhow, I printed that for myself. All in one shot. No problem. Used both printers at the same fucking time. Everything printed perfectly. Cleaned my printers. Did everything the way I always do every time. And while we're at it, let's see if we're fucking up at all. I haven't checked on it. There we go. And it's fucked. Yay. Looks like his body is working. Of course the base isn't fucking adhering. Looks like the other parts might have printed okay. I'm trying to gauge, like, is he done printing? I think he is. It looks like the upper body printed good this time. It looks adhered. This base, it's a big fucking base and it's really heavy. But I think the rest of it printed okay. It looks okay. Does my mic, by the way, sound connected? God damn it. All right, I'm going to have to go with stronger supports. I think that's my problem. So we're going to stop this because I'm not wasting any more fucking resin on this thing. That's a great question, Jen. Stop printing. Okay. So in this particular case, it looks like everything else printed good. That's his bandana. I think his head is back here. Is that his head? Yeah, that's his head. Good. Well, at least all that printed. And that's another part of his body. So why does this happen? This type of separation where it's not adhering to the bed. So one thing has to do with suction. So you've got, in an SLA printer, there's a film down here called an FEP. And that's what all the resin rests on. And the UV light shines up from underneath that. As this build plate goes down, you can see very faintly, you can see those lines. And those are those layer lines. They're just showing up really well right now because there's resin dripping off of it. But anyhow, if you don't have proper drainage holes, shit like that, or if the model's just really heavy and maybe you didn't expose this first layer. So in my case, this first layer right here along that line is, I believe, 9 layers thick. So there's 9 layers there. And I'm I may need to go with a longer exposure time so that these layers are even harder. I want them really stuck to this. This is like a textured build plate here, and I want this surface to be stuck to that. And so what you want to do is like when you have problems like this, you want to increase your exposure time for these first couple of layers. So instead of like 15 seconds per layer of exposure time, you might do 18 or 20. Yes, you can set the time yourself. It's all going to be in your settings. These are just things you kind of learn as you go along. It's trial and error. And I mean, the crazy part to me with this, and this is it's a pretty big piece. There's a lot going on there. There's a dragon's body wrapped around this central pillar-like thing, this pillar here, and so I think this is actually too little time of exposure here, is what's causing the lack of adhesion. Because, for example, this base here is just as heavy, maybe a little lighter, but it's huge. This thing's way big. This took up my entire build plate. Um, and this printed just fine. I didn't have any issues with it at all as far as adhesion goes. But I used automatic supports on that one and automatic settings. On this one, I increased the setting a little bit because I was compensating for extra weight because it's a beefier base. And I think I need to go with a longer time. I might bump it up to 20 seconds exposure, and go with heavier supports. You can see, if you look real close, you can see some of those supports weren't hanging on hard enough. Like this one right here in particular, you can see it's not connected to the model. It's not holding on to it. And so what happens if your supports fail in the printing process, anywhere the supports fail, if it's at the very beginning of the print or in the first layers, it's hard to tell. Either way, we've got separation here. So this weight is pulling this thing down, and every time it comes up off that sheet, it's got to peel itself off of there. You have that UV light shines up and exposes a layer, and then the build plate lifts up and then goes back down into the resin, and it exposes another layer, and then it lifts up, goes back down, and repeats that process for each layer. And that's why your model comes out upside down. But there's a lot of suction and, outside forces, just the weight of this hanging on to the top here. If it's not fixed properly, you can start getting some movement and it'll start to sag. Um, Now that I'm looking at this, no. Yeah, see how it's warped here? I was thinking it might be salvageable. This should be perfectly round. So there's some warping there. So that piece is toast. I'm not even going to bother trying to finish that. And usually when shit like this happens, I'll go through and clean I'll empty the vat, check that my FEP is okay, make sure it's tight enough, all that stuff. So you want that FEP tight as a snare drum down there. And if it's loose or anything, that can also cause So I've got a checklist of things I'm going to need to go over when I clean that out and get those parts off, to ensure that it's not one problem or another, and go from there. So, and I'm happy to answer any other questions you have too. Any way I can help. I know you're eventually planning on getting a 3D printer. I highly recommend getting resin. Anycubic's a great brand. Elegoo. All those printers out now are pretty plug and play. You plug the fucker in and put a file up and start printing, and boom, you're on your way. But when you start doing bigger stuff and shit, and it's really good to go in and just learn how settings work, learn all the little ins and outs. And the only way you really get a handle on that is by playing around with stuff. This is also a model I downloaded off of Colts from a private seller. It, sometimes the problem is the print itself. You just never know. In this case, I'm pretty sure it's my error, and I'll own that because it's a well done print or file. There's no complaints from the on the seller's site or anything. Everybody's pretty nice, good reviews. So I think it's just me. All right. So, oops. Is my mic picking up okay? Does it sound like it's like I'm gonna walk away from my phone? And is my audio still super clear even though I'm way away from my phone right now? Or does it sound better when I'm close to my phone? If you don't mind. My the jack that's on the phone itself, it's very persnickety. Oh, I've got some more right here. I need to seal up. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I'm going to seal up this other gap here. Do you have any other questions that you can think of about the printing? My error there or anything like that? If not, I can tell you about this stuff that I'm playing with right now. Which I will leave a link in the description for these products today. I've been kind of lazy about that. But now I have so much time, I can actually concentrate on doing shit better. Right on. Well, if you think of anything, Jen, let me know. And I should ask, do you mind when I call you Jen, or do you prefer Jennifer? I think it's important to address people by the name of their preference. Okay. Jen is fine. Cool. All right. I appreciate you. So this stuff I'm playing with right now is made by a company called Colad, COLAD. And I believe it is primarily supposed to be an automotive application, or at least that's what they manufacture it for. Like auto body stuff. And it is a really fast curing UV putty. I feel like it's very similar consistency to like if you mixed UV resin with baby powder, which I've never done, but I feel like that's what they did, and now they're selling it. Which if they did that, it's fucking brilliant because this stuff works magic. This is the stuff here. Comes in this tube, and the user complaints that I found in the review section on Amazon, a lot of people said that it had a really short shelf life, and that it would separate really badly, and that it was unworkable, shit like that. And I thought, when I got the package, I was like, okay, well, if you're just picking this shit up and squirting it into whatever you're doing with it, and then that's it, and then you try to start working with it, if you know even a little bit about resins, they're made of lots of different polymers and binders and things like that. Real sciencey shit. And anyhow, stuff can separate. Do you buy a fucking paint and just open the jar and start painting with it? No, you shake it up, you mix it up, you do shit. And so the same thing with this stuff. Just open it up and start fucking around with it. You want to take the tube and give it a good squeeze around. If it's been sitting for a while, Mix it up really good. And I use a medicine cup. Works fine. I agree. I think 90% of the time, and I double check that shit too because I've just learned over time people either don't know what they're doing or it's just straight up user error. Like, but this is what it should look like coming out of the tube. Now I've used this before, and it didn't look like that. It was separated. And in fact, I have another tube over here. Let's see what happens. I've been storing it cap side down, so let's see what comes out of here. It looks pretty good. So I'm thinking like a lot of people probably had it storing like this, just laying flat on the shelf, and then they go to tip it and pour it out or whatever. And I mean, I don't have any fucking problem with it. And the consistency is basically like a thick toothpaste. So it's very workable. You can see how it collects on the, gets better light on that. You can see how it collects on the stir stick I'm using on it here. And, it's very workable. You can see how I kind of did that. I mean, this is just rough. I used my gloved finger to kind of smooth it out and feather it in a little bit. You can go real smooth or kind of rough it up if you want. And I'll just use this as an example. Let's see, how can I do this? I want to demonstrate to you like how quickly this stuff cures. So let's get like a little stringer on here. So you see that, this is very pliable. And you take your UV light, move this out of the way because I don't want to expose the whole cup. Oh, did I lose you, Jen? Oh, okay. And so that's what, 8 seconds under UV light. It's pretty hot, but you can see it's not losing that shape, that texture that it had. I mean, it cures really fucking quick. And it's super workable. Like this stuff, I could leave this on here. I could probably walk away from this for weeks. And as long as no UV light hits it, I can come back and play around with it, shape it, and do whatever. And that's that. And then hit it with the UV light. I'm just concentrating on this spot right up here. And you can see that shape that it's in now. Now it's not moving at all. It's frozen solid. Or it's hot. UV resin gives off a lot of energy when you expose it to UV light. So it gets really hot. There's a thermochemical reaction that goes on, so you get fumes and shit like that. I've got my fan running and my garage cracked a little bit. I should be wearing a mask, but alas, I am not currently wearing a mask. My fan is doing its job. So this whole area, you can feel it's hot, or I can feel it. You can't feel shit. At least not on this. But yeah, it's done. And now I can take my terrain paint, my AK, my brush sitting over here in some water. I love this stuff. If I get it on something I don't want it on, I can just fucking feather it out until it just blends and then wipe it off or something. Could even take this little compressed air. Boom. Clean. Done. Good enough. Looking pretty good. I'm digging it. I got this all this huge ass gap filled in today, except this little spot down here. Probably just gonna goop some terrain paint in there. I need to order some more actually. A little spot I missed. Something thinner. This thing's gonna weigh like twice as much as it did when I started when I'm done with it for all the added texture and shit I'm putting on here. Gap just doesn't want to fill in. There you go. Cool. I'm liking that. Speaking of liking, got some cool plants to play around with the base as well. Some shit like this. It had some plants that it came with that I 3D printed with it, and I'll show you how amazing those look. I'm being totally fucking facetious too. Where did they go? Oh yeah, here's one of the plants. Oh, you know what? I feel kind of stupid. I'm just. I just realized something. This changes my whole fucking. This changes my whole outlook. What the hell was I? This is one of those "what the hell was I thinking" moments. I thought all this time that this was a plant. It's not a plant. Why would a plant have rocks fucking stuck to it? It's a blaster shot. You fucking dumbass, Ron. So stupid. Anyways, I bought plants anyways because I don't want this model to just be dirt. So this is a bonus. Now I have something to think about completely different. I get to paint these and make them look like little explosions with rocks flying out. I think one of them goes like that, you know, because like there's fucking, it's order 66 or no, actually order 66 hasn't happened yet because that doesn't happen until they kill Grievous. Oh yeah, okay, so there's little craters back here. Oh God, why didn't I fucking see that before? What the hell was I thinking? So it's a blaster shot. That's so funny. So you have this crater, duh, and the blast goes in there. Dude, okay, that adds an entirely new element to how I'm going to paint this. I can put, oh, I just had a great idea. I'm going to put a light down in here. and fill it in with a little bit of cotton ball. It's going to be a little nano LED light that goes down in there. I'll have to drill a hole to run the wire through. But this will be glowing like a bright orangish red, like it just hit, and all this stuff is blowing out. That's going to look tight. That's what I'm going to do right there. And then there's another one that goes over here. And I think I'll do the same thing with that. Fuck, now I'm going to add even more electronics. I thought these were plants this whole time. I just, it's probably because I hadn't even thought about this part because I'm so far away from this. Well, I guess fuck. I'm going to have to completely rethink the wiring and everything for this. So there's 1, 2, 3 blasts. How many do I have? Okay, I think this one was a misprint, if I remember right. I'm going to have to go back in and print these. This one already, this was a misprint, and it's already missing the bottom. So all I'll have to do is have a light down here. And then fill that in with some cotton, and then airbrush it. And then that light shining through that cotton will look like one of the blasts. Assuming maybe that one goes up here. Goes to one of these. Maybe it's that one. So I'm going to have to go through and find the other blast print for that in the file folder for this model. These are blasts, blaster shots, blaster rounds. Ron, God damn, I feel stupid. All this time in my brain, I was thinking these were plants, and they are blaster shots. So that's going to even further complicate wiring this bastard, because these are going to be glowing. Yeah, that's going to be some cool shit. All right. Next up is this fucking thing. This is like General Grievous's that pike type thing that he's got. I think that's only part of it here. And I think this, yeah, it goes in down here. I thought about printing this piece in clear, because this is all like electrical shit. Like, oh, how cool would it be to have like fiber optics running through that, or little lights that glow kind of purplish, which is the color of the thing. At least the energy that's coming out of it or whatever. But I don't want to overcomplicate things for myself more than they already are. But yeah, that part goes down there. Makes sense. Blaster rounds. I feel so fucking stupid about that. It's funny. I'm laughing. I'm definitely laughing. Either way, those are my new plants, and they're going to go on there too, eventually. I'll probably be drilling little holes and shit like that everywhere to get those put in. It's just a rock cactus. I agree. It is just a rock cactus. How funny would that have been, though, if I painted them to look like plants? So yeah, there'll be these little dudes. I'll just drill a little hole or something. I want them to stay, so they've got these little penises sticking out of the bottom of them. So I'll just drill a hole and stick it in there and drop a glue, and then these will get primed with everything else and painted, and they'll be scattered all over the place on this thing. And it's cool. It was like $9, and it came with a whole buttload of different plants. and you could tell it's like $8. Like this plant, you would think these swivel, but they don't. It's all one piece. And there's no wire in them or anything. You just start peeling them apart. I'm thinking if I dip them in like boiling water or something, that'll get them nice and loose. And then throw them in the freezer for a second once I get the shape I like. And then they'll stick to that shape. But I don't really like this one anyways. It just fucking looks weird. Like that. But yeah. Came with a bunch of these, and I'm not really having any use for them. I'll probably use a lot of the grasses. I'll put some real moss down, stuff like that. That'll be fun. But for now, we are still working on gaps. It's a time traveler palm. I like it. I like it a lot. I agree with you. It is a time traveler. Time spelled Time. Oh, it's a tiny. I liked time traveler. Let's see here. This gap back here to fill in. Grab this other can of shit. So there's this, I don't know if you could see that. There's a big gap back there that's got to get fixed. Change my camera angle a little bit so we can see that. Wonder what Jerry's up to today. Haven't seen him in yet either. I go until my phone dies. Okay. It was way too quiet. Think I need some music in my life. A little bit of water. Still seeing that line there. Almost looks like a fault line or something. It's tempting to just leave it. Okay, music. Let's see. Oops. I hate it when I do that. I have this like smart TV monitor in my studio here, and I'm pretty sure it's smarter than me because I fuck up every time I'm trying to just put Pandora on. Okay. I'm looking for music. Sorry. Oh, okay. I gotta find something else. Search my collection. There we go. That'll work. I'll tell you what, my paintbrush definitely does not like this stuff. All right. I don't want to completely cover that all up. Some of it looks good. God, this is gonna look so bitchin' when there's fucking paint on it. I cannot wait to start painting this piece. I don't want to wait to start painting this piece, I should say, but I have to, because if I'm not patient, it's not gonna look right. Does not behoove one to get ahead of oneself and forget to think. Oh, this stuff is so fun to play with. I love it. I'm seeing some gap remnants underneath here. You can see this line. That's going to bug me if I don't fix that. Gone. I'm going to have to order more of this shit. Oh, have I? I'm sorry, I missed your question. Yeah, music is always good. Have I tried the concrete yet? No, I haven't. You want to? Should we? I mean, I got nothing else to do. Let's fuck around and find out. Yeah, let's do that. I have not tried the concrete yet. And what better way to do it than to try it on the spot? Let's find a fun gap to fill. That's as good as any. Let's see. Seems like a good sized gap. Oh, I'm ready, Jen. I'm always ready for something. Excuse me. My wife found these. This shit's good. Guilt-free soda. It's not good going down the wrong hole, though. So, looking at these pipes, I feel like they're almost the same texture and consistency as like the concrete down below. So I think it'd be safe to assume that perhaps they are clay pipes or concrete. I mean, doesn't fucking matter. It's up to my imagination, right? Oh, I don't know what color this stuff is. I'm probably gonna need to clean up my paint jar. Oh, look at that. That's really fine. Let me find another old paintbrush here. I'm just getting right into it. Not only is this gap kind of offset, but it's also pretty big. Feather it nice and wide with some water here. I can tell it's going to be kind of hard to tell until I can always sand some of it down. The gaps on the pipes were what I was probably most concerned about getting sealed right. That works nice. I'm gonna get a little medicine cup with some water here. Excuse me. I have to remember to stand up more often than I'm used to. I can always sand it down a little more if I need to. definitely looks and feels like concrete. Huh. It's a very fine grit. That's a great question. I haven't had any issues with it so far. With this stuff here, it's fucking on there. None of it's cracked or peeled off. Um, I mean, to be fair, it could be the resin I'm using too. I don't know, but uh, it's working out just fine without any primer so far, and I'm happy with that. I did think about that, and I've been so pleased with the results so far. Well, okay, guess I'm not priming it. No, not really any need. Now I am going to put a primer over this. This is all going to be painted matte black before I start really putting color down, as per usual. Thank you for the questions too, Jen. You always have such like well thought out, even if they're spur of the moment. You always have good questions. Sometimes you've brought up stuff that I didn't even think about, and yeah, I appreciate it. I almost feel like I need like a little mini Lego putty knife or something. I'm not going for perfect though. I got to remind myself of that. I just need this shit to be down and dry off. I might even sand over it a little bit. Parts I don't like, whatever. I kind of want to see how it dries kind of lumpy and stuff anyways. I mean, that's looking pretty clean. That was a pretty good sized gap there. Let's see what it looks like when it dries, but I mean, it covered that up nicely. More of the UV putty. So looking on the other side. Like that. One-inch chip brush. Do I even know what that is? I don't know the names of different brushes and all that shit. I just I'm like, this is a brush with a really fine point. This is a brush with a flat point. This is a brush that I use to do stupid shit like this. That's my brush knowledge. Most of that stuff I've just forgotten since college and shit. It's been so many fucking years. Okay, now before I paint over that with the AK, I need to remember to develop the UV resin here. Get that hardened up. Oh, this, yeah. Okay, disposable brush from a hardware store. Makes sense. All right. I mean, basically, the brushes I am using right now are really cheap brushes. So they're not hardware store cheap brushes, but they're just cheap, like $8.99 a set brushes that I got on Amazon that I bought specifically for doing shit work like this. This is just the shit that's on the lid. You know, I mean, I gotta say, I like this stuff as much as I like the other one. It's very workable, and it's a different texture. It's very concrete feeling. Yeah, I love cheap brushes. I mean, I buy Famui brushes for doing like, which, you know, those are, it's not like I'm using Mercury Sables, or not Mercury, that's a fucking car. I'm not using Sable, you know, like horsehair brushes and shit like that. I love synthetics. Um, but Famui makes a good quality, you know, higher end on the cheap end. They're the higher end of the cheap end paint brushes. I do love those for doing like my detail work and stuff. But other than that, for shit like this, obviously go cheap. Don't waste. Folks out there, Jen knows, but yeah, don't waste your money on expensive brushes, or don't waste expensive brushes on shit like this, because you are just going to fuck them up. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm totally trashing these brushes. I was like, why does my doorbell camera keep going off? My wife's out watering plants and working on the working in the patio garden. Yeah, you know, brushes like this, I think I paid small flat Oh, there's no name on it. I think I paid like $5 for like a set of 16 brushes. $10, something like that on Amazon. And I like them. They're decent quality, cheap ass brushes. They get the job done for shit like this. And yeah, I mean, Jen, with all the painting you do for work and stuff, shit, why blow money on expensive brushes? I mean, unless the company that's commissioned you to do a matte painting or whatever you're working on is willing to pay for brushes. Like, I don't know who you work for, but and you don't have to say, but like, if you asked for a specific brush to do a job, would they be like, or I mean, maybe you private contract and stuff like that. Like, but if you ask for a brush, will they just be like, yeah, get whatever you need, I don't care, and you're like, fuck yes. Buying my dream brush right now. Shit, that really blended nicely with that concrete. I could see where I may need to do some light sanding here and there, but I think it'll fill that in really nice. Oh, okay. All on you. Gotcha. Been there, done that. Think we need to change camera angle, and I'm gonna squeeze the rest of this shit out. Waste not, want not. There we go. Yeah, it's like a spackling paste or something. Good shit. I like it. I do like it. All right. Put the cap back on here. Back to some more putty. That's such a small gap, I don't think I need to worry about that part. Same with that. Happy with that coverage. Love this stuff. Highly recommend it. Oh, and it's super cheap. I will put the link for it in the description. If you ever get a 3D print that you got gaps to fill or something, I highly recommend playing around with that stuff. Just get yourself one of these like cheap little UV flashlights, and you're good to go. I would assume you probably already have one though. You're pretty crafty gal. All right. I think that's pretty good. So if I'm going to just be using this concrete for a little bit, I think it's time to rinse out my water cup here because it's just got this brown AK shit in it. That's how I like my coffee, by the way. Just black and rude. Oh, it's so comfortable out now. Get that stirred up. Get that sediment off the bottom. I got a little tiny hose bib right underneath my workbench. Super convenient. Well, it's not tiny, it's just a standard hose bib. Originally, I was going to put like an industrial sink in, but I ended up not doing it. I'm glad I didn't because it would have just gotten in the way. I needed all the space I could get for everything else I put in my studio, especially once I got the bigger printer with the second enclosure. So who else is in the chat with us tonight? Happy Saturday, whoever it is. Feel free to say hello. And if you don't want to, don't. That's okay. You can be shy. I'm just stepping away from the workbench for a moment. I'm going to put my tripod away because I realize I'm not going to need it tonight for what I'm doing. I will most likely be live streaming for an extended period of time tomorrow. The more I realize, the more it sets in that I don't have to go to work. I'm just dead set on getting some serious progress done. I do have a commission project I'm working on as well. Actually, it's the finish. I don't know if you saw Sailor Moon. Yeah, if you're new to the channel too and you like what you're watching, I got to say this. Please feel free to like and subscribe. If you don't care to subscribe, fucking don't. Totally okay with that. Just know that I love you. I care about you. I hope you guys are all having an awesome day. And yeah. Oh, I know you're subscribed, Jen. Or unless I'm missing something. And I appreciate your subscription. Thank you. Totally trying to grow this channel, especially these next couple of months while I'm not working. I'm going to be getting a lot of content out. I'm going to be doing a lot of live streaming. I may even actually plug my phone in and do extended live streams. Typically, my live streams go for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. We're at 125 right now, so got a little more time. I basically live stream. If you're new, Jen knows. If you're new, I live stream until my phone dies, and that's either the end of it for the day, or I may be back on later. I typically compartmentalize a lot of my time with the channel because I like to spend time with my wife. We have a lot of fun together, and she's my favorite person, so I try not to spend too much time down in the studio because she likes to spend time with me too. Thankfully. So I'm using this concrete terrain by AK on these clay or concrete or whatever they make the pipes out of on Utapau, which is the planet that Obi Wan Kenobi is currently on as he's pursuing General Grievous. and I'm just sealing up gaps with the concrete terrain, using a little bit of water to feather it out, blend it in with the rest of it. Depending on how it all sets and dries, I may sand some of it down or use a Dremel to add some extra texture. I'll probably be adding some moss along these areas to really hide and blend in these gaps. But for now, I just want a consistent cohesion with the rest of the base. You can see it's kind of chipped up and it's been sitting a while. So if you're just tuning in or checking it out, that's what I'm doing with this stuff. I also must add, if you're new, my live streams are typically not safe for kids, little ones that you're trying to keep from learning certain words too soon, because I tend to cuss like a sailor on my live streams. I'm just me. Is really all it is, and I cuss a lot. So, and supposedly statistics show that people that use a lot of swear words tend to be more intelligent. Personally, I think I'm just a smart ass, but no, just kidding. I'm actually a pretty smart dude. I'm a fucking nerd. So there's that. I really like the really low texture on this stuff. It's very workable on this concrete. I've got a corrosion texture we can try out too that I'm curious about. Yeah, smart ass and a dumb one, I agree. There are a lot of dumbasses out there these days. I mean, let's face it, they've always been there. I won't say what kind of dumbasses I'm thinking of, but they're just dumbasses. Figure it out. Yeah, it's crazy the prevalence of dumbassery that is infecting our planet. Ooh. Does it dry brush? It kind of does. Huh. Oh, I can't wait. See, I'm already like trying to fucking paint stuff. I can't wait to like get some color down on this and start dry brushing the rocks and highlights. It's gonna look so bitchin'. It's gonna be so fun. Can't wait. So let's pivot a little bit here to our next gappage. Might need to change the angle a little bit. Bring it up. Thank you for bearing with me while I adjust my camera. Cool. Let's do this one. UV putty, followed by some terrain paint. One thing I love about these textured gloves is for textured spots like that, you can just tap it. It really blends in nice. Maybe I want to put some moss along this gap or something. There's definitely going to be some creative gap filling beyond just this. Make sure this other side's covered up well. Good enough. Nobody's going to be peering in to look at that anyways. Except probably me. Double checking to see if I can see my gaps or anything. Nobody else will know it's there but me. All right, I'll do this one. Stand up. Oh. Really got to remember to stand up more often right now. My back is so messed up. Hate it. My whole body is fucked. Really. I mean, I'm in good shape, but holy shit. I live my life with day-to-day severe to moderate pain, and it's not a lot of fun. I'm a tough old bastard, though. Oh, this stuff works so well. Cool. All right. Next. Give the finger the old wipe. Close my garage door here. Neighbors are always tripping out on me. It's like, what is he doing now? It's either, what's he doing now? What the fuck is that? Or why does he have all that camera equipment set up in his garage? And then some people are really curious. It's cute. Like, there's an older couple that lives here, and they love to come by and see what I'm working on. They're always marveling at the 3D printer and whatever's on the chopping block. And I love showing it to them. They're so fascinated, and I mean, I am too. I'm a kid in the candy store with all this stuff. I think tech is fun. 3D printers are really fun. It's just a fucking crazy ass concept. Like, who thought you could create a photopolymeric resin that would react with UV light and then make a build plate to dip into it with the light underneath so that it would print one layer at a time of a 3D scanned object, and then when it's done, you have this thing to use. Auto parts, all kinds of crazy shit. It's bonkers. I love that I've grown up in this day and age to see this stuff happen. It's really cool. I never would have guessed in a million years that I would be applying my art skills. I think they're working on that shit. To be fair. Yeah. I would love to print a new back. It's not even so much my back. It's my my shoulders and my neck are the real problem. That's what gives me all the pain. Trying the other brush here. My shoulders and my neck are where I have the severe arthritis, and that's the pain that I'm in. That's what causes that from day to day. And yeah, it it sucks. I'm afraid that they're probably going to tell me. It's already been mentioned in one of my visits, but two options are probably going to happen. One or be, who knows? But one option is going to be um, disc replacement, which is risky because your body can reject the discs that they replace it with. That's scary. And the other option is probably going to be fusion, in which I get to have my neck kind of stuck in one position. And that's that. And that's just how I live. And yeah, I'm okay with it. One direction is going to be okay, I'm not in pain anymore. I also know that there's nerve severance that they can do where they basically cut the nerve that causes the pain, and that's that. You walk out of there feeling brand new and you don't feel pain anymore. My boss had a procedure like that done, so that could be an option. Surgery freaks me out though. I've been so healthy and active and crazy my whole life, and it's been really emotionally and mentally difficult for me to finally come to grips with the fact that I need to take a fucking break and get myself better and do something about my personal health. So, but in that process of not working, I get to work on stuff I love. Don't get me wrong, I love my job, but at the end of the day, it takes a toll on me. It's very physical, and I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to do it forever. But 3D printing and painting, I'm going to be doing this shit until the day I die, or until I can't pick up a paintbrush or whatever. I absolutely love this hobby. About 8 months ago, I started doing YouTube, and at the suggestion of several friends, and I'm having a blast with it. It's really cool. I met a lot of really awesome people from all over the world. Jen's one. My buddy Jerry that comes on here. Guys from Hobby Link International. Kenny, awesome dude. Sergeant Digital Designs, another creator who's become a good friend and just an all-around awesome person. Like, I feel very blessed and gifted to have this hobby and the ability to share it with you guys, and I do mean share. You know, hopefully, I don't know. Maybe you're here because you're 3D printing curious, or maybe you want to learn some new painting techniques. I'm here for you guys, but I'm also here to learn from you as well. Any comments, suggestions, something you guys think about that? Oh, sorry. You could use some new joints. Yeah. Oh, you had fusion for an option for your ankle, but you said no. Okay. Yeah, I have ankle problems as well. My left knee, I have no ACL or MCL in my left knee. I tore those out on a job about 23 years ago. Never had surgery to replace the ligaments. And so, yeah, that's something I may have to explore in the future. It doesn't really cause me a lot of pain yet, but that's only a matter of time before that starts bothering me. What did you, what, if I may ask, Jen, what happened to your ankle um, that made it so you may need fusion? All right, back to putty again. Let's see. Yeah, we got plenty. Well, let's put some more in the cup. Oh, just got my 20% battery notification. You guys know what that means? Got about, let me see here. We'll go to low power mode. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably got about 25, 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes left in the stream tonight. I wish I had longer. I'm enjoying finally getting to work on my project. So if you're new to watching this live stream, this is a UV putty I'm using right now to seal up bigger gaps. You walked off a roof and landed on your left heel and destroyed. Jesus Christ. This is what I'm using, fast curing UV putty by Colad. I'll leave the link in the description. You guys can check that out. I highly recommend the product. Don't pay any attention to the negative reviews. They're all user fucking error. I've had zero problems with this stuff. Nothing but good to say about it. It's a great product for sealing up gaps. And no, I'm not paid to say that. I'm not sponsored by them. I just like the product. I spent my own money on it. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. That being said, I'm ready to have a little smoke. How in the fuck were you just not paying attention? How does one just walk off a roof? I mean, I've jumped off roofs on purpose. I've ollied off a roof. Skateboarding, obviously. I think most people know what an ollie is nowadays. But I've never walked off a roof. You were painting. If oh God, that's like when you're walking downstairs or something, and you think you have another stair to walk down, but you're on the last stair, and I don't even know how to describe that feeling. I've done that with swimming pools in my years with working with swimming pools. It hasn't happened in a long time. But you know, you think you're on the deck and you take that step and there's nothing below your foot except water, and down you go. I really love the way this stuff covers up gaps. Yeah, it's a really fucking weird feeling falling like that, you know, or expecting there to be ground below you and then there's not. It's fucked up. There's no other way to put it. It is a fucked up feeling. I mean, does this stuff not work? Dope. This UV putty. You just put you cover up your gaps, you tap it around, and then hit it with your terrain paint or whatever works, and it's gone. In my case, I'm using the AK shit. Oh yeah. Don't forget to develop it. Get that all hardened up real good. Just getting any on my fingers developed so it's developed. It does. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. It's like the sooner I get this perimeter done, the sooner I can start working on the plants and all that other shit. I don't feel like I even need to cover too much up here. I think it looks pretty good. But we'll use the big brush for this section. And if I mess up and get some on here, I mean, the textures just blend perfectly, so it's very forgiving. Plus, I'll be adding corrosion and other stuff around this base. Like, I'm nowhere near finished with it. There's going to be moss growing on shit. This is the corrosion texture I got. And it's super fine. Can't even tell. Maybe better on the lid, but it's very, very fine. So that'll be used to imitate like rust corrosion and shit. And I'll be scattering that around along with moss, and all these gaps are going to be really well hidden when I'm done with it. They're already covering up quite nicely in most places here as I'm working my way around. Yeah, happy with that. So fill in a couple more gaps. Oh, this seam right here was the first time I tried that UV resin putty stuff, and I don't like the way it covered it up. But now that I've been moving around and doing a couple others, I have a better feel for how it works. And between that and the terrain paint, I think this is going to really cover up nicely. So we'll go back over that. And God, don't have much left to go. Oh wait, no, I missed this back side here too. So I'll have to get that. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, you probably didn't see. This is what I was talking about. This was the first time I tried that UV putty. So I'm going to go back over that, texturize it a little bit better. Now that I've played around with it a little bit, I have a better feel for how it's working with the terrain. How it feathers and works with the rest of it, I guess. Stand up. Stand up. like that. Let's redo this side. And thank you, Jen. I appreciate you feeling that it looks great, by the way. I am grateful for the input, positive or negative. If you see anything I missed, or hey, what about this? Let me know, because any help I get from someone out there that has an idea to help me improve something, the way it looks, I'm all about it. Love participation like that. I also like that this stuff's pretty quick to work with, at least in this application. You know, with what I'm using it for now. All right, that's good. Back to our concrete. Oh, important step. Almost got myself there. Where is my... There it is. All right. Develop. Develop first, then terrain paint. Only needs a couple seconds. Okay. That should be pretty good. Okay. I'm just kind of stippling it a little bit to feather it out and blend it with the rest of the scene. If you don't know what stippling means, it's basically just poking your brush, like so. It gives you an idea of, this contrast here gives you an idea of how stippling works. You can use it dry brushing, stippling. There's a lot of different uses for stippling. But as far as covering for texture, it works good to feather out your texture paint and blend it a little bit. This area here I'm still having an issue with. I don't like the way it looks. I'll probably have to let that dry and go over this line again later. So, patience. All right, we're at 10% battery, so which is good because we made some really good headway tonight, and I'm just about all the way around the perimeter of this coat for the base here. Got some good work done today. I'm very happy with my progress now. It's been really wearing on me not being able to be down here for the last week and a half. I've just been in so much fucking pain, and it's the end of the swim season. I'm in swimming pools, and for those of you who don't already know, I'm a pool guy. And just wrapping up the end of the season just had me busy, and now I'm on disability, so I'm gonna have a lot of time and gonna be putting a lot of time into the channel and working on this project and a couple others. It's gonna be fun, but I've also got some serious stuff I gotta take care of and deal with. I gotta go to physical therapy and do all kinds of fun shit. So yeah, I'm happy with my progress tonight, though. Let's just give it a little sweep over to kind of break everything up. Oh, we missed 1, 2, 3 gaps. So I'll finish that section up tomorrow with you guys. Probably tomorrow. I may do an extended session tomorrow to get this really knocked out. But hey, we made some bitchin' progress today. I'm stoked about it. So I'm gonna cock this up here so we can kind of get an overview of the whole thing. Ugh. Sorry about all the movement there. There we go. Kind of, that gets the, there we got the whole thing in view pretty much. I'm happy with that. Great progress. Not bad, not bad. And again, with this UV putty, like I still got some left over in the cup just to protect it because I am working in my garage, and we open the door. I'll just put a paper towel over it like this and set it aside, and it'll keep perfectly fine. I'll be able to, this stuff that I'm using today was in that cup for a week, and I just had it wrapped up and it was fine. If sunlight hits it though, it's toast. But it's not so expensive that you can't just use more. But waste not, want not. Use what you have. All that fun shit. Yada, yada, yada. All right. Get that sweaty hand out of that glove. Whew. Cool. Cheers, guys. Whatever you're drinking, I stopped drinking about 5 months ago for medical reasons and personal life choice decisions. So yeah, it's been interesting. I ain't gonna lie, I miss beer sometimes, but at the same time, I don't miss waking up feeling fucking tired and exhausted every morning. I never got drunk or anything like that. Never woke up with hangovers really, but you still wake up fucking tired and shit. But yeah. Anyhow, thank you guys for hanging out and checking out the channel. Let's see. I always do this. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. If you liked hanging out, if you want to see more, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. And you too, Jen. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out tonight. If you got time tomorrow, I'll be on. I don't know what time. I may try to announce it early. Like just have it scheduled live stream tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I know my wife wants to go do some stuff, so we'll do that first, probably. But anyways, I'll be on it eventually. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Happy Saturday. Happy 3D printing. Happy painting. And by all means, have a nice day. And toodles.